Early last year, the most incredibly important thing happened in the world of silver. A group of Redditors pushed GameStop and a few other stocks to astronomical highs, and this obviously caught the attention of the world. But then the unthinkable happened. They turned their attention and, more importantly, their profits into silver. And then Wallstreetsilver was born. This blew up big with a lot of controversy. As you can see, they have 185,000 silverbacks, aka members of this subreddit. This was so controversial that a lot of people, even silver stackers, were parting with other silver stackers. The silver stacking community is extremely warming and welcoming, but this divided the two. It was almost like Wallstreetsilver versus everyone else that stacks silver. I wanted to bridge that gap because there was a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of these bigger silver influencers that have platforms just didn't understand Wallstreetsilver. They assumed these were just some greedy guys that came from stocks to silver and they're going to try to corner the market to insanely silly levels. Well, that might have been the case for a few people, but if you actually did your research and went on here, these people are real silver stackers that aren't planning on selling anytime soon. And there was another myth that these guys were just on the COMEX, the SLV. But if you took a few seconds to scroll down, these people are buying physical silver and they understand the true value of the dollar. And I've made lots of polls actually, and most of these people have been stacking longer than a year when this was originated. So yes, it might have started as one idea, but it's transformed into something much different. The purpose of this video, though, is to see if they could do another silver raid, and if they did, would this push the price up to those astronomical levels that they achieved before? Some people might say Silver Slayer, they failed. Their silver raid failed. Let me put something in context for you. The last time silver was $30 was a decade ago, and that's pre-Wallstreetsilver. What they did was, and by the way, they did not have 185,000 silverbacks back then. This was last year when they just started, probably had 5 or 10,000 at most. They squeezed the price of silver from, what was it? Probably $18, $19, all the way up to $30 within a couple of days. A couple of days we're talking about. And this is something that couldn't be previously achieved for 10 years. How was that a fail? There was so much traffic on these big bullion sites like APMEX, JM Bullion, Provident Metals. They weren't even accepting orders. Usually it's a 2-3 week shipping delay, even maybe a month, because they want that money. But they didn't even accept orders. JM Bullion site had so much traffic online, their site crashed. APMEX, the biggest bullion dealer, wouldn't accept orders. None. There wasn't just, we'll notify you, but your shipment's placed. You were locked in the add to cart for hours and hours, and then it would cancel, and then after about a day or so, they just weren't accepting orders at all. You would have to go to some third-party site on eBay, which most of those were sold out as well. How is that a fail? And the biggest win from this wasn't even about the price pushing up to $30, but it was the amount of attention they gave to the world of silver stacking. Silver was on the map now. People that have never invested a single dollar in their entire life now know about silver stacking. When we look at something as big as Wallstreetsilver, you have to look forwards, think forwards. In 1 year, they have 185,000 members. Think about in 3-4 years from now, they could have 500,000. Maybe even more. That's all potentially new silver stackers and all potential people that are going to be doing a raid on the same exact day. This is a silver raid. When they buy silver at the same time on the same day, basically cornering the market like the Hunt brothers did in 1980. Now, what that would do, especially now noting that there's a massive silver shortage, is push the price to extremely high levels. Now, in this video, I want to go over not only what would that do to the spot price, but the actual price. Silver Slayer, spot price is the price of silver. No, not necessarily. A lot of people called for $50 silver at the end of 2021. I'm talking about some big names. They weren't necessarily wrong, but Silver Slayer spot price was nowhere near $50 at the end of 2021. It wasn't even half of that. Well, actually, they were right. Spot price might not have been $50, but if you wanted to buy an ounce of silver, you were going to have to pay about $50 because of premiums. See, the price of silver and spot price are two completely different things because of scarcity nowadays. Premiums. So if Wallstreetsilver keeps buying boatloads of silver as they are, which if you're on here for even more than 5 minutes, you could see that these are heavy silver stackers. This would push the price of premiums through the roof. And you might think, just, a couple of Redditors can't have that much influence, but yes, they can. If they did that last year with only a few thousand members, now they have 185,000 members, and silver's a lot more scarce now. What could come out of this? Well, I'm here to tell you guys that I think Wallstreetsilver is the best thing that happened, and they are just misunderstood. I've been making videos about them since the beginning. I've covered articles where people bashed them, where people just did not understand and a lot of misinformation was being spread. If you go on here, it's the Facebook for silver stackers. You can see I post all my videos on here. There's silver memes. There's a live chat 24/7 where you can hop on here and talk to silver stackers about something. You can do everything on here. Post your stack. A lot of people don't want to make a YouTube channel because it's a lot of work to post your stack. But on here, you can make an account and show your stack to thousands of people, right? Look at some of these stacks people have. It's absolutely beautiful. But let me show you the most important tool to Wallstreetsilver, in my opinion. Let's go over to my profile and let's scroll down a little bit. By the way, I post all of my videos on here, and you can see they do extremely well, right? 108 upvotes, 50 upvotes, 44 upvotes. But I noticed that you can do polls on here. So what I started doing was asking questions like, when will silver hit $100? Or how long have you been stacking? Or coins or bars? And I started to get tons of results. This poll right here is when will silver hit $100. It has 299 votes. So out of 299 votes, most people think silver is going to hit $100 within 2 to 4 years. I said 5 to 9. Kinda though. My best guess on $100+ silver is 2026. That's when we'll be straight into the Green New Deal. That's when, the silver shortage will be inevitably public, right? You can't try to sweep it under the rug or try to say, oh, the numbers are, no, it's going to be blatantly obvious. I think that's when it will. But it's just really cool to look at some of these polls. Let me show you another really interesting poll. How long have you been stacking? So this is a poll I asked, how long have you been stacking? 411 people voted. 42 people, 0 to 5 months. 37 people, 6 to 11 months. 156 people, 1 to 3 years. 86 people, 4 to 10 years. And 90 people, 11+ years. So the second place was 90, with 90 people voted 11+ years. Now, is that accurate? Probably not. A lot of these people probably are just kind of trolling, but I'm sure there is a good amount of people. And that just goes to show that these aren't all people that just hopped on the silver train last year. A lot of these people came over from being just a silver stacker, maybe on YouTube, to join this community. See, it might have started as an idea before, but it is transformed into something completely different. There was another poll I asked that was really interesting, though. I want to find it. This one, coins versus bars. This one was pretty interesting. 136 votes was coins, 68 votes was bars. I would think a lot less people would choose bars, but then I started thinking, nowadays with premiums, bars are almost the better go-to. I used to say American Eagles would be the best coin ever, but American Eagles are considered high premium silver now, and I would avoid them if I was a beginner. If you could buy a bar for maybe $3, $4 over spot, but then you have an American Eagle that's $10, $15, $20 over spot, it makes a lot more sense to buy that generic bar. And especially because bars can be bought in weight. That is what makes bars so unique. You could buy a 10-ounce bar, so you're paying the premium of one 10-ounce bar instead of 10 individual 1-ounce coins. So you're saving a lot of money there. And since they're generic bars instead of a semi-numismatic high premium coin, you could see if you just buy a bulk order of 10 or 20 ounce bars, let's say you buy 10 20-ounce bars. That is a lot of silver for a lot cheaper than if you bought 10, or a lot of silver. Let's say you did 10 generics and 20 eagles, or 10 eagles and 20 generic, whatever the case is, dividing all that up, the price would be so much higher. So it does make sense, but coins obviously do have their benefits as well. There's definitely pros and cons for both, and it really just depends on what you think silver is going to be doing in the next decade or so. Whether you think it's going to be spot price that rises, or if you think the more so premiums would from the shortage. But anyways, I really just want to focus on if this silver raid, if they did a huge silver raid that everyone knew about, all the YouTubers, maybe if I got on board and really promoted it too, and a lot of people knew about it, what would that do to the price? Well, there's a few different scenarios. I think the main one would just be premiums, and I don't know. I mean, I want to think of the most relevant, because obviously there's many different scenarios, but I really want to think about what actually would happen. Since there's so many more members nowadays on Wallstreetsilver, it would make a much bigger impact. And some people might say, well, they do silver raids all the time. I'm talking about if they did a silver raid like last time, where they had all the hype from the GameStop, AMC thing. If, channels like mine and other big YouTubers really pushed it, so we had YouTube and 186,000 members on here all buying silver at once, what would happen is, just like last time, JM Bullion, some of their sites would crash. People would be going to eBay, the third, the much smaller companies like Gainesville Coins. That's where I bought my 3 tubes of Eagles last year during that time. Those companies would definitely be the ideal places to go, but I don't think spot price would be impacted as much as premiums would. I think that we would see extremely high silver prices, but it would be the premiums making those prices so high. We already see Eagles at $45. If we had a raid like this, and let me put some context in there for you. There's already a very serious silver shortage going on. I just covered 2 videos. The U.S. Mint ran out of Eagles. They're actually in legal trouble because they can't not be compliant with the regulations to make Eagles at a certain production cost. So they can't have the same type of, I guess, accessibility to third or private mints that can. So places like Gainesville Coins or Sunshine Mint, they're going to have a lot more silver than the U.S. Mint. U.S. Mint was going to make 2022 Morgan and silver peace dollars. They had to cancel those. They already sold 5 million ounces the first month of January, when annually they usually sell around 14 million Eagles. That is very alarming, Because if they can't even keep up with something around 14, 15 million ounces, and we have a demand exceeding 1.112 billion ounces, then you can only see the direction that's going to head in 3, 4, 5 years from now, how serious that's going to be, especially including what we really are going to start needing silver for the green technology. So I think since we know how much more serious things are this year with the silver shortage and how dry the mints really are, if they pushed a silver raid like last year with that much hype, but with the amount of people and attention it has today, it would go ballistics. I'm sure a lot of us wouldn't even be able to get our hands on silver unless we're willing to pay unreasonably high amounts for those coins. And I say that because it would be interesting, and I would be down if I've joined forces with them before. They had their 10-ounce Wallstreetsilver bar made. They emailed me one, or not email. They sent me an email saying, "Hey, do you want to give away one of these to your fans, to your subscribers?" And they did, and I did. Right? They want to collab with the YouTube community. Right? They gave me that bar to give away to you guys. They want, which is very rare, Redditors or Reddit and YouTube to come together, right? Because there was a lot of this backlash and just misinformation that I did not agree with. It was silly, right? It was silly, but it is different, and I could see why maybe some of the older guys that have been stacking for decades and decades, they see this new young Reddit group and they're just like, what are these guys doing? It makes sense, but you cannot be closed-minded like that. At least go on there and see what it's about. And I can guarantee if they did, they would see this is actually a very, very good thing. It's so cool to go on here and just scroll around and talk to people, or check out videos, or check out polls, or just laugh and look at some silver memes, look at some silly stuff. It's great. It's great. I mean, you can get lost on here for hours just looking at people's silver stacks alone. Or you can just go on here and talk to people in the live chat. I mean, there's a lot. And by the way, this is the hashtag Silver Raid. And this is what I'm talking about. 30 more ounces order, 86 ounces arriving tomorrow. Silver Raid, pawn shop picked up $31 by the dip. Raid Day Sunshine Mints. New shiny from local coin shop. See, like, these raids are smaller. Imagine if we all did a massive silver raid on the same day where we all bought. Let's say I was saying every day, or everyone on, July, blah, 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 we're all going to just buy silver. Go all in. Save up all your money. Don't buy any until then. Imagine that. And by the way, these koalas, these 2022 koalas are beautiful. I mean, I unboxed these on film. Bully and Max, which is, they sent me 10 of these for free actually, and I gave them away to the winner of the Silver Stacking Podcast giveaway and to my co-host. And by the way, they're going to be sending me another package. And if you go to bullyandmax.com/silverslayer, which I can do that right here. If you go to bullyandmax.com/silverslayer, it's the best deal online. It comes with 5 ounces, high premium stuff at below employee price. It's only 1 per household, but the point I'm saying this is, they asked me, since this thing was so successful, if I wanted to put together my own starter kit. So I want you to comment, what silver would you want to see in a starter kit right here? I think this is the best thing ever. I love starter kits. I haven't seen one in years. So take advantage of it. bullyandmax.com/silverslayer. But the point is, though, that if you are looking to buy silver, you got to do some digging. A lot of places don't have Type 2 Eagles for good prices. They're taking advantage of the lack, and they're taking advantage of people not knowing where to buy them from. Like on Amazon, you see Eagles going for $50+, selling like hotcakes. So just be careful. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I just wanted to let you know that silver raids could be very impactful, and I want to know if you think that a silver raid would or could push the price to astronomical levels today if there was enough attention, though. If it was just kind of like a smaller one, it won't do much. But I'm talking about one that was as big as last March when they pushed the price up to $30 within, 3-4 days. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.